Hello, I'm Gus Downing, publisher and editor of the D&D Daily, and this is the LP News Network. With us today is Shannon Hunter, Senior Director, Loss Prevention and Safety at Office Depot. Over the last 20 years at Office Max and Office Depot, Shannon's held roles ranging from District Loss Prevention Manager to Territory Loss Prevention Manager, Director of Corporate Loss Prevention, and Director of Supply Chain Loss Prevention and Safety. Since July of 2017, he's led the organization's Loss Prevention Department as Senior Director of Loss Prevention and Safety. As everyone knows, once you've mastered a position and become a subject matter expert, it then all boils down to your leadership skills, how you lead and manage both direct and indirect team members, and how you're perceived throughout an organization, an industry, both by solution providers and by other LP and AP executives alike. Becoming a subject matter expert in your position and field is important, and it's the first step in your career at each position you reach. But developing your leadership skills is critical to reaching the senior level and staying there. Leadership skills are not something you're born with. They're skills that you learn, that you see in others, and that you set out to emulate at every level you reach. Shannon has been recognized and promoted over the years by focusing on not only his technical skills, but on his leadership skills as well. Shannon, thanks for being here today.
Thanks, Gus. I'm glad to be here with you. Thank you.
Could you talk to us about leadership attributes of a leader, leading in an LP effort in an organization, and how you lead and to deliver results and inspire your team?
Sure, Gus. And I think you started out by talking about something that's very critical, and it starts with a foundation. And you talked about subject matter expertise. So to me, that's knowledge and critical thinking skills. So if you have the knowledge and the critical thinking skills and you're a subject matter expert, you're helping to solve problems for your team and your business partners. And that brings you credibility. When you have credibility with your team and your business partners, that helps you to be able to lead them. It helps them be able to follow you and listen to what you have to say. I think the other thing from that perspective is we don't all know everything, and you have to, as fast as we're moving in today's business and our companies are changing and technology is changing, you have to make sure that you're continuously learning. I think the second leadership attribute is listening to feedback. So I'm very intentional in our organization that we have different avenues to listen to feedback from our team, from our business partners. And specifically in regards to our team, one of the things that we do, whether it's on a store visit, whether I'm picking up the phone and talking to somebody, or it's a conference call, I'm asking them for feedback. And it's not necessarily because I don't know what to do, but when you ask for feedback and you allow them to provide solutions, first of all, they're the people closest to the issues, right? And they know what's going on in the field. It gives them ownership and it gives them empowerment. And one of the things that we do is, so that they know that we're listening, me and my team will actually collect those thoughts and I'll send an email out to the entire team. So I may have gotten feedback from a few people, but I'll send that to our whole LP and safety organization so that they know we're listening, we've implemented things that people have suggested. And if it's a no, we can't do that, I tell them why. The third leadership attribute is transparency. I think that if you're going to be a leader, you have to be transparent with both your team and your business partners. They need to know that you're genuine, that you have their best interest and you have the company's best interest in mind. And I also think what goes along with that is, if you say you're going to do something, you need to do it. That goes to your integrity, right? And then lastly, and my favorite one to talk about, and again, there's lots of leadership attributes. We only have 10 minutes to talk, right? So I'm talking about the ones that, are near and dear to my heart. But the last one that I love to talk about is humility. And what humility is to me is not thinking less of yourself, but thinking about yourself less. So if you think about that, what that means is that you put your team first. And when you put your team first and you're trying to remove the obstacles, that's how I see my job. I'm removing obstacles for my team so that they're able to do their job better. And you always hear People talk about, I would run through a wall for that leader. Well, what I want my people to know when it comes to the obstacles they have, that I would run through a wall for them. And I think that's very important. So I think humility is important. And I also think you can be confident and still be humble, because again, it's about putting your team first, but you can still be confident in what you're doing. You got a great team. You've been with a company for 20 years. You know what you're doing. But the key I always tell my team members is that there's a difference between confidence and arrogance. And what we're going for is confidence in a humble way. So to wrap this piece of it up, I would just say that those are all individual leadership attributes. As a team, we have to work together to collaborate with our business partners to help the company to achieve results, and that's how we do it.
Yeah, well put. You've been promoted from manager positions to director positions, leading up to the senior director. Can you give us a couple of examples of how your leadership skills developed, how each level required you to develop your leadership skills, and were there some milestones that stuck out where you had an aha moment?
Sure. I think the first thing I would like to mention is that you need a mentor. If you want to grow in this business, you need a mentor. Sometimes there's formal mentors, sometimes informal. I had a mentor, and that person helped me along the way to grow, and I think that's key. There's a lot of hard work involved. You got to be willing to listen to that person, know that they have your best interest in mind, because there's going to be some critical feedback sometimes, and you got to be willing to take that to improve yourself. I think, moving up from, one position to the next, a couple of things I thought of or I think of. One is the ability to compromise. Early in my career, I always thought everything was black and white. As a district loss prevention manager, right? This is the way it is. I think as you move up, you realize that you need to be able to compromise. And so everything isn't black and white. You need to understand the business climate, what people are trying to accomplish. And we're here in loss prevention and safety to mitigate risk. You can't eliminate all risk, otherwise we would not be in business, right? So I think the thing is to understand that you can compromise, because then your business partners will know you're willing to work with them. If you're unwilling to compromise, they're going to stop coming to you and asking you to be part of the solution. And we definitely don't want that. We want to be part of the solution. I think another thing is managerial courage. I've always had the ability to talk to people about what I felt was important. I think early in my career I probably overused that managerial courage trait, and it can be overly used. So I think, again, there's a balance with that. And if I feel strongly about something, if I feel strongly for my team or myself, or it's something that's a value that I believe in, or it's a core value of the company, then I will put myself through a decision-making process, be able to articulate that to our executives or whoever I'm going to, and use that. But you have to understand the balance. You can't use that too much, and you can't go off emotions. You got to be able to use data. And then I think an aha moment for me is you are never 100% ready for the next step. And I've heard many people say that, but it is absolutely true. So the last 10 months, we've got some outstanding results. We have a great team. And so again, you're not necessarily 100% ready all the time, but you need to take that leap of faith and say, you know what, I can do this. I have a great team behind me. I have people that I can ask questions of, and we can make this happen. And I think you got to put your hand up and be willing to take a risk when you do that.
Yeah. I had a CEO tell me 20 years ago that if you're waiting for them to be ready, you waited too late.
That's right.
Bottom line. So,
Exactly.
when it comes to leading a nationwide team, can you talk to what you look for in other leaders on your LP team and how you're helping them develop?
Sure. So just a few simple things we look for is self-awareness and humility. Somebody that has great critical thinking skills, and then somebody who has a track record of being able to deliver results. A lot of people can deliver results, but how do you do that? And if you have humility, self-awareness, and you got great critical thinking skills, if you're delivering results, then you're doing it the right way. So that's what we look for. In regards to developing our team, we take this very seriously, and we both look at technical skills and leadership skills, and we do monthly webinars with our team in regards to that. We use our learning and development team at corporate to help with that. Sometimes they do webinars, sometimes we bring the people into the office for face-to-face training. We do an annual conference from an LP and safety perspective where we do training. And then we also bring people in for cross-functional work teams with the company, not just loss prevention, but if the company's trying to solve a problem, we include our team in that so that they learn those skills of collaborating and brainstorming with other people to come up with solutions.
My last question for you is, how is this digital age impacting leadership skills, and what's some advice you have for the younger LP and AP executives?
So, I thought about this a little bit, and I think, it's really kind of an easy answer for me. And I think that, technology makes it much easier and quicker for us to make data-driven decisions, and that's what we need to be doing, right? Instead of emotions, you use data to drive your decisions. So it makes that easier. It makes executing easier. It makes us more efficient. But in the end, this is still a people business, and people have to execute. And while it might be easier for them to be able to execute at a high level, they need a leader who takes an interest in them, that cares about them achieving results. And what we're really going for, instead of compliance, is commitment. So if you can inspire somebody, if you take an interest in them and help them execute to deliver their results, then they're going to be committed versus compliant, and a committed person is what we want.
Absolutely. Shannon, thanks for taking the time today. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks, Gus. Appreciate it.
Well, that's it for this episode, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to thank you for watching. And until next time, let's keep them all safe out there.